Imagine being in a marriage where you feel invisible, where the man you love is distant, cold, and clearly involved with someone else. Now, imagine making one reckless decision in a moment of weakness, a decision that changes everything. This is my story, and I need your help to figure out what to do next. When I discovered my husband was living a double life with another woman, I was devastated. I forgave him, hoping we could rebuild our marriage. But things only got worse. He moved to Ibadan for his job, and I barely saw him. The calls stopped. The intimacy disappeared. I felt alone, neglected, and desperate for affection. One evening, I ran into a former colleague at the supermarket. He'd always had a crush on me, and that night, he paid for my groceries and offered me a ride home. When he kissed me, I didn't resist. I wasn't thinking. I was hurting, and I wanted to feel something. Anything other than the pain of my failing marriage. The next day, I went to his place, and we slept together. Immediately after, I regretted it. But in that moment, I told myself it was revenge. My husband had been cheating on me for months. Why couldn't I do the same? 3 weeks later, my husband called to say he'd finally gotten his own place. In January, I moved to Ibadan to join him, hoping it would bring us closer. But nothing changed. He was still distant, still refusing to touch me. We've only been intimate twice since January, and both times he used protection. Then, in February, I started feeling sick. I was treated for malaria twice, but I didn't get better. I was losing weight, vomiting, and exhausted. Finally, the doctor recommended a pregnancy test. I refused at first. My husband and I hadn't been intimate enough for me to be pregnant. But the test came back positive. I'm almost 3 months pregnant. And based on the timeline, the baby isn't my husband's. It's from that one-night stand with my former colleague. Now, I'm faced with an impossible decision. Do I tell my husband the truth and risk destroying our marriage? Or do I keep it a secret and hope he accepts the baby as his own? I've been off birth control since last year, and I've told him I'm ready for a baby. What if this child is what brings us back together? But the guilt is eating me alive. I was raised better than this. I never thought I'd cheat on my husband, but the circumstances pushed me to a breaking point. My husband has been cheating on me for months. Would he forgive me for one mistake? Or would this drive him straight into the arms of the other woman, ending our marriage for good? I'm 37 years old, married for 4 years, with no children. And now, I'm pregnant by another man after a single night of weakness. Is this God's plan? Or is it a cruel twist of fate? I'm lost, confused, and terrified of what comes next. What would you do if you were in my shoes? If you've ever faced a situation where one decision could change your life forever, you know how hard it is to see clearly. Don't miss more real, raw stories like this. Hit that subscribe button and join the Togetherly community for support, advice, and unforgettable stories.